We are ready to begin.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome to today's virtual press conference to launch our new consumer website, OneKeyMLS.com. My name is Jim Spear, and I'm the CEO for OneKeyMLS, and I would like to introduce you to my co-presenters for today's conference. First, I'd like to introduce Richard Haggerty, the President and Chief Strategic Growth Officer for OneKeyMLS and the CEO for the Hudson Gateway Association of Realtors. Next, we have Leah Caro, the chairperson of the OneKeyMLS Board of Managers and broker owner of Park Sterling Realty, located in Bronxville, New York. And last but certainly not least is Tracy Weir, the CEO and founder of August Partners, the web developing company that built OneKeyMLS.com. Thank you all for joining me this morning. It's going to be very exciting. And now for a little bit of housekeeping. At this time, I'd like to ask all participants to be in a listen-only mode. Also note that all questions and comments should be submitted to us via the chat line feature during our presentation. We'll do our best to make sure we get all of those questions addressed. In the event you wish to communicate with us after the virtual conference, no problem. You'll be receiving a press release right after the event concludes that will contain the information, so you'll be able to reach all of us that way. There'll be contact information for 3 or 4 people on it. Okay, so now let's get started. I'd like to give you a brief overview of who OneKeyMLS is and how this New York regional MLS came about. It actually started about 3 years ago with a conversation between Richard and I, a shared idea that it made sense for the 2 largest MLSs, the Mobile Listing Service of Long Island and the Hudson Gateway MLS, to come together to better serve our realtor community and the consumers they serve. Luckily, our respective boards of directors were very progressive and shared our vision. Once we got to that point, then we rolled up our sleeves and worked our tails off together with my senior staff, who worked tirelessly over the last year, and our board of managers, who stayed laser focused on making the really tough decisions that had to be made over these last 3 to 6 months, but always keep in mind what was best for their fellow realtor members. That was always of such importance to them. And now here we are 3 years later, a shared idea over a drink in a small bar in Albany, and now we went live in March 2020 doing business as OneKeyMLS. Now, by coming together, we're able to offer more opportunities to do a better business for our realtors by giving them access to products and services they need. And that's why we're here today. And we've created this beautiful new website for the consumer to give them a better, more efficient home search experience, because they are using the one source of the listing data they can rely on and trust, the MLS. This was the thought behind building OneKeyMLS.com, a website that will offer consumers the largest selection of accurate and timely listings directly from realtors in New York. And that is just so important. You're getting it directly from the realtors when you go to OneKeyMLS.com. Now, the Long Island MLS is very familiar with running a successful consumer-facing website to connect buyers and sellers with our realtors. MLSLI.com is an established real estate website that has tens of thousands of daily visitor sessions to it, because consumers like the idea of getting their listing information straight from the source. Once again, that is such a key thing. Get it right from the source. They trust the listing data they see on MLSLI.com, and that is what we look forward to building with OneKeyMLS.com. A relationship between the consumer and the agent that's based on reliable and accurate information. So the excitement and challenge is not just continuing to deliver solid listing information to our current visitors. It's the opportunity we now have to attract a new group of visitors to the site that would be the result of our expanded footprint. Our 42,000 realtors serve communities that span from Montauk to Manhattan and up to Monticello. So for the buyer that works in Manhattan, they can find a property within a 60-minute commute to the city on OneKeyMLS.com. And the consumer that wants to take advantage of the excitement energy of New York City, we have them covered as well. So the 40,000 listings that are on our MLS are properties located in Nassau, Suffolk, Queens, Brooklyn, the Bronx, Westchester, Putnam, Sullivan, Orange, Rockland, and Manhattan. And yes, One Key MLS serves Manhattan, to which now I would like to turn the presentation over to Richard, who will speak about what One Key MLS means for New York City agents and consumers. There you go, Richard.
Thanks, Jim. As Jim alluded to, this conversation started to happen about 3 years ago. And it's because we looked at the geography of New York City and the greater suburban area, and we recognized this is some of the most powerful geography in the world. And shouldn't we leverage the power of this geography for the benefit of our members so they can better serve the consumers we work with? And it really was that simple of a concept. Let's leverage the power of New York City and the greater suburban area for the benefit of our Realtor members so they can be more effective in helping the buyers, sellers, landlords, and tenants they deal with on a daily basis. We recognize, quite frankly, that when consumers are looking in Manhattan, oftentimes from different parts of the country, different parts of the world, they would want to have one source they can go to. And they don't know if they want to live on Long Island. They don't know if they want to be in the city, in the boroughs, Long Island City, Great Neck, Bronxville. It's a tremendously large geography. And how powerful would it be if you had one MLS, one data source with accurate information coming from Realtor members that's timely, and also one consumer-facing website. And when Jim and I started talking about this concept 3 years ago, we recognized how important it was not just to have that accurate MLS information, but to have it also be on a consumer-facing website that, again, help consumers go to one site. And really the thing I've always had in my head is there really should be one consumer site that has the geography of anywhere mass transit goes in and out of New York City. And that's a pretty large geography. And that's the goal I think we have. And especially in this day and age, data is everything. Accurate data is everything. And I think that what we've achieved, especially with the help of our board of managers for One Key, is we are successfully creating that vision of offering that accurate data on that consumer-facing website that we're going to be showing to you today. But I do think, Jim, it's important to recognize, and you've already alluded to it, that our board of managers for One Key they really believe in this vision. They recognize the importance of this vision, and they are very laser focused on making sure this vision comes to fruition. And with that, I want to introduce the chair of the board of managers of One Key MLS, Leah Cara, who was at the very beginning of those conversations 3 years ago. Leah is also the president and owner of Park Sterling Realty in Bronxville, New York. Leah, without further ado, I'm going to pass it off to you.
Thank you, Richard. Good morning, everybody. I'm pleased to be here. As it's been said, a long project in the making, and here we are, ready to debut. I am the chairperson of the Board of Managers for One Key MLS, along with 9 other brokers, each representing the regions we cover in our new MLS, which runs from the tip of Long Island, the East End, through across Long Island, through the boroughs, including Manhattan, and up the Hudson Valley to the Catskills of Sullivan County. Quite a large footprint, and 10 nimble brokers joined to find what is best for our agents and brokers as well as the consumer. And it's because we are a nimble group that we were able to bring this large project to, it sounds like a long time, but really time moves so quickly, to the forefront for you today. One of the things we were very keen on at the Board of Managers was making sure that we did what was good for our brokers and agents as well as the consumer. But let's talk about brokers and agents for a moment. On our consumer-facing website, onekeymls.com, the consumer will never be offered pay-to-play agents. They will always get the identity and the contact information of the listing brokerage and the listing agent, which has been very important to our members, our Realtor members, but into the consumer as well. It's not uncommon to see kind of a pay for play environment where any other agent may be seeming to represent a property when in fact they are not. So we wanted to make sure that only the listing broker and agent would ever be identified on any of our listings, which we think is very transparent for the consumer and is a big perk for our members. Other things that we considered was that the timeliness of data. Every 5 minutes, our MLS is updated by Realtor data, which of course is the best data, whether it be pricing or new listings or a change in a status, so that the consumers know when they go to onekeyMLS.com that they're getting truly live data. 5 minutes, it couldn't be more live than that, really. And no duplicity. It's clean data, it's deep data, and it's timely data. And I don't want to step too much on Tracy's toes because she's up next to really demonstrate how deep the data is. But in fact, it's extraordinarily deep. There's demographics, there's neighborhood information, and one of the biggest, most exciting features, I think, of our new consumer MLS, consumer-facing MLS, is apartment building and unit data from New York City, which we all know is not just hard to get and extrapolate, but to deliver. And Tracy's done a terrific job of doing that for us. So really, the consumers are getting the most reliable and accurate data because it comes from the realtors, and we care about the most. It's so meaningful to the practitioners that it was important that it be meaningful for the consumer as well. And the deeper data. So I'm excited about our new consumer-facing website. I'm excited about our new MLS. And really, none of it could have happened without Tracy Weir. Tracy Weir is the CEO and founder of August Partners, who's going to give you a virtual tour of the site. But really, she's a phenomenal collaborator. She's a deep thinker. And she understood our vision, our collective vision from day one, and was able to craft it exactly how we could imagine it, which is no easy task. So thank you all. With that, Tracy, I'd love to see your demo.
Well, Leah, thank you so much. Let me first say that this site has been an honor to create for us. It's a huge thing. So let me share my screen and walk you through it. So hopefully you can see that. One Key MLS is the first site of its kind in New York. It offers consumers direct access to listings from tens of thousands of realtors, from Montauk to Manhattan to Monticello. It covers 13 counties and boroughs with tens of thousands of active listings, but also hundreds of thousands of closed listings so consumers can find a home they love. It was built with consumers' needs first and foremost in mind. As Leah said, it's really important to the practitioners that consumers are able to get to the listing and see the agent who represents it. If we look through the site here, what you'll see is the data is incredibly timely. This is live right now, and I'm looking at listings that were updated 25 minutes ago, 26 minutes ago, 27 minutes ago. This site has the latest and most available listings in the New York metropolitan area. What's also cool is that you can look at open houses. Now, the status of open houses in New York, as you know, has just recently changed, where open houses will be able to be shown again. But we also have both traditional open houses and virtual open houses. And it's unique that you can search by those. It's also important to mention that this is the successor site to a beautiful site called MLSLI.com. And the searchers from there are welcome here, and all of their accounts will be there too. You can easily sign up for consumer accounts on this site, meaning that consumers can save listings, they can save searches, and we'll talk more about that in a few minutes. There's a deep mortgage resource section because consumers need to know about mortgages. Obviously, most people do take out a mortgage, and this site has the resources they need to identify what kind of mortgage they might need. You can also see that we have 13 communities, and what's unique about this is that there's deep neighborhood information, and they're also translated into 21 languages. So let's take a look at some of the depth of this site. So this gives you an overview of the geography, and you can see how huge it is. And what we're looking at here is a shot of the site just as it's living today. And you can see that there are coming soon listings, and it's really quite remarkable. You can easily zoom in on the map. And as you do, you can see how the site all of a sudden starts instantly showing the listings. Every listing has big, beautiful, high-resolution images. I'd like to live there. That looks nice. And you can see that it really is special. These listings are presented in all their glory. They have complete amenity information, a good description. You can even take a virtual tour. But the star of the show is actually the agent. And you can see here that she's up front and center. When you submit a listing, you don't have to register. When you submit an inquiry on a listing, you don't need to register for an account. And you can even ask for a specific showing time. We show you where the listing is. And we also have this really unique educational data. This is unique and really doesn't exist on any other site in the New York metropolitan area, because we're looking deeper than just what schools are there. We're also rating them, and we're showing what the educational expenditures are by student. Gives you a really good perspective on what a school actually does for its students. We also give you great demographics, showing you what kind of households are there, what kind of lifestyle people tend to lead in the neighborhood, and if there's even a special character, and even if it's boatable, which is important. We also show you what's for sale nearby and recently sold, so you get a true picture of what this listing's context is. In Manhattan, we offer really in-depth building information, as well as lot info and unit. This information is typically not found unless you pay for it. What's unique is that we're not showing just the address of it, we're also showing the alternate addresses. And many buildings in Manhattan have 3, 4, 5, and Columbus Circle, there's a building that has 35 alternate addresses. We're showing the lot information, which is important. We show both the total, we show both the total area, the zoning, the FAR, and we even show the unit history when we have it. This information is drawn from ACRIS, which is the New York City tax database. When it comes to searching, we offer really easy to use search tools. But most importantly, we offer something that's a first in the industry, which is a map-based office search. So this is a map of all the offices that are real estate offices that are in one key MLS, and you can see the distribution. But what's nice is that when you zoom in, you can choose an office. And this office shows all of the agents in the office, but we can also look at what's for sale in this office and for rent by this office. And we can even look at what an individual agent might have for sale. So we also offer community profiles. And this is an important piece of the site. We offer more than 500 neighborhood profiles cut across 13 boroughs between Bronx, Brooklyn, Dutchess, Manhattan, Nassau, Orange, Putnam, Queens, Rockland, Suffolk, Sullivan, Ulster, and Westchester. And with each of these counties or boroughs, we've put together not only a narrative description, but at the top level, we've even gone ahead and translated these into 4 different languages: Chinese Simplified, Chinese Traditional, European Spanish, and Latin American Spanish. What we found is that these are the 4 most popular languages from visitors coming into the site. When you scroll down, what you'll see is that we have the most recent listings at the top level, but we also have all the neighborhoods that we've identified as important to consumers within that specific county or borough. So when you look down, what you'll see is that we have a narrative description plus the recent listings in North Massapequa. This is invaluable, and because this is also optimized for search, it will really help consumers find exactly what they're looking for. It's also important to note that this site is translated directly into 21 languages. I'm looking at simplified Chinese at this moment, but you can see that when you look down here, the listings are all there, and it's really beautiful and easy to navigate no matter what language you want. Our type ahead makes it super easy to find what you want, but we also have a tool that enables you to draw on the map to zoom into a specific area. And what's nice is that when you zoom in, it really makes it easy. We even preview the listing on the map for you. What's also nice is that when you decide to save a listing, you can click the heart and it goes automatically into your account. So what I'm looking at here is a bunch of saved listings that I have identified as interesting. What's also nice is that you can put a note on those listings and you can also rate it. And these ratings appear just for you. The settings are also nice because OneKey only sends emails to you when you want them. You can decide to be notified when the price changes, either daily, instantly, or you can also receive notifications when there's an open house or a virtual tour added to the listing. It's also great that you can look at your saved search, and you can set these up by many different parameters. So here's one that I've set up for the Upper East Side from 900 to 2.5 million, 2 bedrooms. And again, I have my settings, so I'm only looking at what I want to look at, whether it's, I don't want notifications at all, or want them daily or instantly. And I want to know whether there's open houses or virtual tours. So if I want to go and take a peek at this specific search, it pops right up, and this is only showing what I want to see. Really, we've tried to make this as consumer friendly and as easy to use as possible with as much rich data as possible. Every one of these listings is current. Everyone is synced with the MLS every 5 minutes. So if your consumer is looking for the most accurate information in metropolitan New York about real estate listings, anywhere you can go basically to find it, OneKey is the one place to go. So Jim, I think this is your turn.
Yes, and man, Tracy, thank you. And now you can see why we're so excited about launching OneKeyMLS.com. Now, personally, I just absolutely love those community pages. I think they're just a home run for people who are not familiar with the area, and you can go learn a little bit about it. I just absolutely, as I said, I just really enjoy that. And I think the site's deep property data and the timeliness of the listings, it's really going to make this site a breath of fresh air for all the consumers looking for a new home. Now, if there are any questions, I haven't seen them come by, but if there are any questions there that have been coming in, I'll ask Gary Conley, who's been working behind the scenes putting this together, to please read any questions if they are there. Gary?
So there are no questions at this time, but if anyone does have a question, please use the Q&A at the bottom of the page to submit your questions, and one just came in. So the first question, I'll give this, send this over to Tracy. How will you ensure the accuracy of the info? Will you vet them?
So the information is vetted by the realtor when they put the listing in the MLS itself. And because we sync with the MLS every 5 minutes, every listing is thoroughly accurate and in time with what the realtor is presenting. The data from the for schools, as well as demographics, as well as the New York building information, is drawn from more than 100 public and private sources. It is, no aggregated data is absolutely perfect, but what we believe is that this data is at least 95 to 99% accurate. There are times when the public records don't contain data, but that's rare. And this information is synced with those sources every 15 minutes.
Great. This also is for Tracy. Will listing agents be able to see how buyers are rating their listings?
At this time, no, but in the future, yes. We're launching with consumer tools only, but in the future, there will be agent-client collaboration tools where agents will be able to see what agents think of their listings.
So I think that ties into my next question, which is what other analytics will agents be able to see on their listings?
Agents will be able to see where the listing appears across the internet. They'll also be able to see the number of views that their listing has had on One Key MLS.
We have a question from the audience. Will there be an app?
At this time, this is a web app. It doesn't have a specific mobile app for One Key, but that's something that we're exploring in the future.
May I add to that one?
Please.
There is a One Key MLS app that will be rolled out in the coming days, and it's going to basically have all the same data on it. Won't have the richness of the community pages and stuff, but it'll be a searching tool for people to use.
I believe this question might be for Richard. Are you accepting a listing feed from the Real Estate Board of New York's RLS?
And the answer is we are accepting feeds from individual firms. Those feeds may be the same feeds they use to feed to RLS, but we are not taking a feed from RLS specifically. We're taking feeds from individual firms.
Okay, and currently that's all the questions I have.
Great. Thank you, Gary. Appreciate it. I just want to remind everybody that if there's any questions that we didn't address, or if you want to reach out to us afterwards, you will be receiving the press release on the launch of this later today, and it'll have all the contact information so you can reach out to us. And in closing, I just want to thank all of the participants who made time to join us today. Thank you. And I want to thank Richard, Lee, and Tracy for their efforts in hosting this event with me today. It's been great, I think. And one last thank you goes out to all the staff working at Hudson Gateway and One Key MLS and the co-communication team, who was truly a great collaborative effort to make this event possible. And again, thanks to everybody, and everybody have a great day.
Thank you.